Right, bro, just a quick one. I just want to talk about the power of brainwashing yourself with content. So, they say you're the average of the five closest people to you. And if you don't have people near you that are doing what is required for you to get your goals, so say it's a weight loss goal and you need to be on a strict diet, but everybody around you is eating shit and saying, "Oh, do you want to go McDonald's or whatever?" then that's not going to be very helpful. So an option you do have is either change the people around you so that they're like-minded and they share your goals. Or the other thing you can do is use content to be that close person to you. So I've used Paul Saladino has been very good, and he uploads Instagram stories daily. He used to do this. He's changed slightly, but at the time I discovered him, he was uploading this is what I'm having for breakfast or this is what I eat in a day, and I'm a very visual person, so I would see exactly what he's eating and I would replicate it. So he was talking about eating raw liver, and I don't think it's necessary, and I don't eat raw liver, but I would have thought that that wasn't a good idea unless I'd seen him. As soon as I saw him eat raw liver, I was like, yeah, fair enough, I'll give it a go. I'm not going to die. He's obviously eating it and he's not dying. But eating raw meat is a bit questionable, isn't it? So I wouldn't recommend it, and I don't eat it raw. But visually seeing someone do the thing makes you more likely to do it, but it's an ongoing process, so you have to keep watching the content. And when somebody creates the content daily, like Paul Saladino's stories were, it was every day, this is what I'm eating. It'd be beef and fruit and a liver or heart or something like that. But it would be very consistent, and it brainwashes you into thinking, oh, this is what I need to be eating. So another person I've used is Troy Casey. I've read in multiple books that Qigong and Tai Chi and energy cultivation practices like breath work are beneficial. But in a book, it's kind of like lifeless advice. You don't really know what to do with it, and you don't implement it. But Troy Casey, he did one time. He did 100 days of qigong. So every single day he'd go out, live stream a video of him doing qigong in the park. So barefoot on the grass, doing qigong. And in a book they show you illustrations of how to do it. But when you actually see someone in front of you doing it, and every day, after a week of like seeing him pop up, oh, Troy Casey's doing qigong, you think, right, I better do it. So I would just say use content to brainwash yourself into the thing you want to do. So say you're intermittent fasting, you've read somewhere or somebody's told you that intermittent fasting is good and you're going to implement it. You will lose interest after a couple of days because the people around you don't care. They're not encouraging you. But if you find some sort of online person that's their thing, then every time you see their content, you're going to be like, have a renewed kind of enthusiasm for the thing. So say you're getting into, I don't know, sea swims. If I say to you now, sea swim's really beneficial mentally, and it has good side effects for fat loss because it stimulates brown fat. I mean, I'm not a scientist, I just do the stuff. But if I tell you this, yeah, you should probably have a cold shower each day. Or if you're near the sea or a lake, you should probably go in the sea for the grounding, the positive grounding effects. That's nice. You're going to take that advice and go, yeah, I probably should have a cold shower every day or go in the sea. But if I say, look, here's me and the boys doing a sea swim. This was the other day. We do this every Friday, once a week. This was December, freezing cold. Here's me scraping ice off the car to drive to the sea, and then we jumped in the sauna afterwards. Like, you visually seeing that is much more beneficial than you reading in a book somewhere that sea swims are good. So I would use content to brainwash you, and I do this when I was fasting. I did like a prolonged fast and the odd 3 day fast, and it was actually a book by Stefan Arnio. I listened to it as an audio book, and he had cancer, and as a way of trying to like cure himself, I guess, he would go, and just for the mental clarity, he would go into the Costa Rica, into the rainforest, and fast for, he did 18 days, and I think his last fast was 40 days. So when you're fasting, listening to that audio book of a guy that's fasting is going to keep you interested, and that's like your influence. He's one of the 5 closest people to you, so it might be your partner, your family, but Stefano, through that audiobook, is now 1 out of the 5. So you are the average of the 5 closest people to you, and one of those people is doing a 40-day fast, so that's going to have a positive effect. So if nobody around you is fasting, when they say, oh, why don't you just have the Sunday roast, but you're 2 days into a 4-day fast, you need that extra person, and it might come in the form of like an online influencer or an audio book, or even a physical, like a normal book. But normally if you can hear the person saying what they're doing, it's a lot more beneficial. So if I say go for a sea swim and then show you the proof sort of thing, it's going to have more of an impact. So yeah, brainwash yourself with content. Done.